Leading off our discussion tonight is Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. I want to begin, General Ellison, with your reaction to what you saw in the U.S. Attorney's Office today in Minnesota and the Civil Rights Division in Washington.
Well, the first thing is that we still have the precious life of Renee Nicole Good that needs to be investigated. And if the most experienced federal lawyers are not going to be involved because Harmeet Dillon and Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi have said they wouldn't be, and if they're still denying state investigators access to the file, then how is Ms. Good's case ever going to be investigated? The feds won't do it, and they're denying the state access to the file. So that is deeply concerning. Now, look, it turns out that prosecutors have ethics, principles, morals, and there's and the Trump administration has crossed the line with them, so they had to walk. This is what any principled person would do when they were confronted with a moral quandary that they simply could not engage in. They had to walk, and I commend them for it. I can tell you that for the difficulties that we're having with the federal government in Washington, we work quite cooperatively with federal officials in Minnesota, whether they're at the U.S. Attorney's Office or whether they're at ATF or even the FBI. The calls to basically shut down this investigation are coming from Washington, not Minnesota. And it sounds like even people in Washington are saying, we are here to investigate cases exactly like this one. If you will not allow us to be involved in this case, we cannot remain here. And I'm saddened by it, but it really speaks to the fact that the federal government is covering up a death investigation. And that's pretty sad.
So in a shooting like this, the three most important evidence sources are, of course, the body and the autopsy report that is produced from that. Secondly, right, the gun. And thirdly, the car. The FBI has the gun. The FBI has the car, as I understand it. But the county, state of Minnesota, the county has the body and is in charge of the autopsy report. Will we see the autopsy report?
You know, let me tell you, all bets are off nowadays, Lawrence, but I think the answer is yes. But that's what I'm pushing for. That's what I believe should happen and will happen. I hope not to come to your show and say, I thought so in good faith, but the federal government did something to prevent it. But my understanding is, yes, we will, that information will be forthcoming. But the shell casings, the gun, the car, whether or not there's been a toxicology test for Jonathan Ross, which is standard. Those kind of things are in the possession of the federal government. And quite honestly, if we're doing things anywhere close to the right way, they have essentially declined prosecution at this point. So open up the file and hand it and let the state get access to it so that we can do our investigation. The state has a right to investigate this homicide. And now the federal government has decided that they're not going to pursue it. So they should open up hand the file over. And I think that's just logical. And I would wonder why they wouldn't do that since they declined.
If there's a Minnesota grand jury investigation, would that have the power to subpoena the gun from the federal government or subpoena the car and subpoena whatever is in possession, any evidence that's actually physical evidence in possession of the FBI?
I say yes, but understand this, Lawrence, that's probably going to be a thorny legal issue to sort through. Because logically, the federal government has declined the case at this point. They should hand over the file. But what if they don't? And there have been a lot of unorthodox, unprecedented things that have happened. If they don't, then we're going to have to get a judge to make them release it. And does a court have the authority under separation of powers to tell the executive branch to release information? I mean, it would be, I suspect we'd have a court battle over it, but my position would be that the state would be entitled to it.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, thank you very much for starting off our coverage tonight.
Thank you, sir.